So we're going to make a classic tween in this tutorial, and this is where we're just going to move some very simple shapes around the scene, which is still untitled. So let's get rid of these shapes. Quick way to do it is Control A, which selects everything, and backspace. Or if you want to learn how to use the arrow tool, you can select the whole thing and press backspace. Either way, it works. We want to double click on layer 1, and we're going to call this classic tween. And you can see we've got our timeline at the bottom and it's empty. There's a little circle there that's hollow. Once we put a shape on here, that circle will be filled in, and that's to tell us that there's something on the scene. So let's do that now. Let's choose some colors. You can click on those and change them, and we'll just make a simple shape. I'm going to do a circle in the bottom, in the top left-hand corner. There we go. So you can see now the circle is full, and that's to tell us that this layer, this classic tween layer, has something on it, but it's one frame long, so it's really not going to. We press play, there's nothing to play, there's nothing happening. We've got 12 frames per second. Usually it's 24. Keep it at 12 or change it to 12 if it's not on that. And we want to insert, let's go to 24, which is 2 seconds. Insert a keyframe. So you can see now we have another frame with a black circle in it, and then this smooth grey area. So that's how long our animation is. And then we've got options to make it longer here, and these are just frames, empty frames at the moment. So what we've decided, and what our frames is telling us, is that on frame 1 we have a circle in the top corner, and at frame 24 we have a circle in the same area. It hasn't moved, so nothing's been animated yet, but we can change that. So get your black arrow, make sure your whole shape is selected, so double click or select it that way, and by 2 seconds, so 24, by frame 24 we want this to move, let's say, so center stage. If this happens to you, it just means that it's not centered anymore, so you can go center stage. If you're not using a USB mouse, it's probably going to happen quite a bit. So we're just going to click on it and move it. So by frame 24, I'm saying that I want it to be in this location, which is changed. So frame 1, top, frame 24, bottom. So if I press play, nothing, 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 bam, changed. So we want something in between. We want to see it gradually move across. So we want a tween, which stands for in between. So you right click in this grey area, and you can see create classic tween. We're going to learn how to use the motion and the shape tween also, but this is just for the classic tween. So click on that, and you can see this line appears, and that's telling us that there is an animation going on. The tween is happening. So if we press play, you can see it move. So if I want to add more animation to it, more time, more frames, so I can move it across the page again, I just simply click on where I want to add a keyframe, remembering that 12 equals 1 second. So if I want it to be quite quick, maybe I'll just insert a keyframe at 35. Get my black arrow and center stage again. Move it up here. Now there's no tween yet, so I need to create classic tween. Let's do another one, a longer one. 55, insert keyframe, move it. So if I have it any part on the grey, when I make this into a movie, it will be invisible because we're only recording what's on this white space. Right click, classic tween. So let's play from the start. And I could keep on doing that. Don't go over 100, but depending on how quickly I want it to move across, I want shorter, less frames if I want it to be quick, and longer frames if I want it to take its time. So I'm moving this across the screen, but I haven't inserted my tweens yet, so you can do that. So just go, okay, I want it to move here, I want it to move here, and then go back and create the tweens in that space. Let's press play. Alright, so let's make a new layer. So bottom corner here, new layer, and we're going to start back at frame 1. So you see this red part, that's telling us where we are in our animation. That's what's currently being played. So we want to make that back at number 1. So this layer here, it's a classic tween. Let's just, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to do a square next. I'm going to call it square. And I'm going to change the color as well. I'm going to make a 90s screensaver. So let's start my square in the middle. And see my keyframes are here, so I don't want to copy the same keyframe, so I'll just kind of randomly pop them in. So insert keyframe. Make sure you use your arrow to move it. So I'm moving it up here. Insert keyframe. Over here. Insert keyframe. Insert keyframe. Move. Maybe by this, what is it, 59, 58. The circle and the square will be merged. Insert keyframe. And, oops, center stage. And then the last one, insert keyframe. Now, I haven't got any tweens yet. This is just me pushing it to the location that I want it to be at those times. So it's just going to be really jumpy. And you can keep it as jumpy if you want it to be like that. Or you can go back over it now and create classic tween for each time that it's smooth. So in between each keyframe. Let's play. It's very cool, right? Don't worry about that list there. That's just all the separate tweens that we've made. If you want to no, we won't do that actually. Just what I want you to do is make this a bit more crazy. Put at least 5 layers on with different shapes bouncing around the place so you get used to the process of the classic tween.